Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of the Block Thrasher Crypto Update, where we are shattering the complexities of crypto with news, commentary, analysis, and education, trying to make everything as simple as we possibly can in the cryptocurrency space, bringing to you useful information so that you can make better, more informed decisions about which cryptocurrencies you might want to invest in. It is Friday, April 2nd. It's 9:23. I'm running a little bit late today. It was one of those days where I prepped everything and was ready, and then I thought, man, I'm just late. Maybe I should just not do this night. No, I haven't missed a day. I got to keep doing this. Got to be disciplined, right? Every now and then, get that correct. It's just sort of like, maybe I just won't do this today, but no, I'm going to keep doing it. Got to do it. All right, let's take a look at the market really quickly. There's some exciting things going on. This is a great day for crypto. The total market capitalization is at an all-time high now, $1.943 trillion. We keep inching closer and closer and closer to the $2 trillion mark. That is fantastic. That is really, really cool to see. Ethereum just took off last night. Ethereum is now at an all-time new high. Even as we speak, currently at $2,068.39. It's sort of, knocking on the door, not knocking on the door, but what am I trying to say? It's sort of chipping away. There we go. At Bitcoin's dominance. The Bitcoin dominance is currently 57.4%, which is actually up a little bit from where it was just the other day. But we continue to see that, not just Ethereum, but the entire alt space chipping away slowly but surely at the Bitcoin dominance. Gas prices are a little ridiculous at the moment as well, up to 259 gwei for standard and as high as 358 for fast. All right, looking at the prices, Bitcoin is currently $59,685, up 0.39%, up 11% on the week. It did break through the $60,000 mark last night at 758 and went as high as 60,200, I believe, if I recall correctly. However, it has been pushed back down a little bit and is now just below 60,000, trying to get past that, trying to see if it can break that barrier and continue to move forward. We will see, right? Ethereum, as I already mentioned, up 6.29%, up 26% for the week. Currently $2,000.68. Ethereum doing very, very, very well. Binance Coin also killing it, up 39.54% for the week, up 5% overnight. It is $344.82. It wasn't that long ago that 34 would have been right. I mean, we're talking just months ago. Binance Coin, $34. I mean, 10x. Everything has 10x, though, at least. Everything that's in the top 10. Cardano is up 1.40% to $1.21. Not too much movement with Cardano of late. Polkadot is up 24.75% for the week, currently $39.54. XRP finally hit the 60-cent mark again. It is up 4.87%. Not going to cover too much of the news with XRP today, but I will just quickly say that Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple Labs, basically yesterday at some point in time said, we don't really need XRP. We can just continue to move on as a company and do what we need to do without XRPs or create a new token in replacement to replace it. And I thought that was kind of interesting, kind of throwing the XRP holders under the bus maybe a little bit. But as we often have seen, the market is sort of does not care. Sort of just, price continues to go up on XRP. So good for the XRP holders. I'm glad. Uniswap up 5% on the week. It is now $29.50. Litecoin is up 16% on the week. It is currently $207. Chainlink doing well, also up 18.62% on the week, up 2% in the last 24 hours. It is $31.41. Theta was struggling for a bit, but it is now up slightly as well at $12.08. Filecoin seen a little bit of a correction overnight. It had gone up 72+% on the week, but it has now dropped 24%. So little bit of a pump and dump going on there with Filecoin coming in at number 12, $174.30. All right, that's going to cover it for the market update. Let's take a look at some of the news items of the day. Good old George Soros is buying up Bitcoin infrastructure, according to trustnodes.com. It's everything from exchanges, asset managers, custodians, to the mundane like tax reporting on your crypto gains and everything in between. So says Don Fitzpatrick. Don Fitzpatrick is the chief investment officer of the Soros Fund Management. While giving an interview with Bloomberg, she said that crypto infrastructure is at an inflection point. And where it comes to crypto more generally, she said, we're at a really important moment in time. This is interesting. Quote, she says, something like Bitcoin might have stayed a fringe asset, but for the fact that over the last 12 months, we've increased money supply in the U.S. by 25%. Yeah, it's been staggering the amount of money since the COVID-19 pandemic that has been injected into the U.S. economy. This far surpasses, people talk about what Japan did, which was 10, 11% at its high, 25%. And that's, she doesn't mention it, but we're talking about the M2 money supply. 25% increase in the money supply, right? And so George Soros and the Soros Management Fund, and Fitzpatrick here, is looking at that and they're saying there's a real fear of debasing of fiat currencies, okay? So this is something, regardless of how you feel about Soros, when these people, these smart people like this start to speak up, we're not talking about, the YouTubers like me or of the Austrian School of Economics. We're not talking about, the gold bugs and the silver bugs, the Peter Schiffs and these types of people of the world, or the George Gammons, who are looking at macroeconomics, or take your pick, Jim Rodder, whoever it is. We're talking about Don Fitzpatrick at the Soros Fund, saying this is an issue. This is a significant issue. 25% increase in the money supply. In contrast, Bitcoin has a finite amount of supply, which halves every 4 years, in addition to Bitcoin being easily storable and easily transferable, Fitzpatrick said. Now, that seems a little bit like a misstatement there. The supply of Bitcoin doesn't halve every 4 years. The amount of Bitcoin that is mined, the reward that miners get, is halved every 4 years. So currently, I think we're at 6 Bitcoin per block that is solved by the miners. It used to be that we were at 12 Bitcoin per block that was solved. So it could be a little misleading the way it reads, that the supply of Bitcoin is decreased, but it is not. It is the mining that is decreased. All right, moving forward. She says, when you look at gold's price action in the context of a fairly robust inflation narrative of late, it's struggled getting traction. And that is an interesting point. Now, normally, under normal circumstances, historically, I think we should say, when you see such a massive increase in the money supply, you're going to see people going into gold as a safe haven asset. But that hasn't happened. She says it's struggled getting traction, and I think that's because Bitcoin is taking some of its buyer base away. And we've seen lots of data to show that that is definitely the case. Fitzpatrick was reluctant to say whether she does or does not own any Bitcoin, arguing that central bank digital currencies are coming sooner than we think, with China undertaking trials of them. Due to strategic and geopolitical interest, China will push this fiat crypto to the world, which is a potential threat to Bitcoin and other cryptos, she said. And this is the first thing she said that I don't necessarily agree with. I do agree with, I don't agree with. Agree with it from the standpoint that China creates a digital currency, right? A CBDC, central bank digital currency. They have no restraint, no limits to the amount that they can buy. Bitcoin's going to get priced relative to it someplace, and to the digital yuan, and they can buy as much as the market will bear. However, as they do that, they're going to drive the price of Bitcoin up to an insane level if they attempt to do that. So there are market restrictions that come into play. And then there's going to be a lot of Bitcoiners because let's face it, a lot of Bitcoiners are like cultists, right? They're never going to sell their Bitcoin or they're only going to sell when they absolutely have to. They're believers. Bitcoin especially, and crypto in general, but Bitcoin especially has engendered within it this faith-like group of people that are, it's Bitcoin or die. And that, hey, not necessarily a bad thing. It has provided strength and resiliency for Bitcoin. Anyway, they can have an impact. They most certainly can have an impact. But generally, I'm going back to the CBDCs, the digital currencies, the central bank digital currencies. But the impact most likely would be inflationary. Of course, the bigger concern is that as China actually has done, attempts are made to totally outlaw any private currency. Now, it is interesting, though, because the government in the United States has already taken steps to classify cryptos not as currency, but as assets. And so it's private property that is owned. So in order to do that, they would have to do, and I've talked about this recently of late, if you've been listening to the podcast and YouTube channel, we've talked about the gold confiscation that happened and how they'd have to do some kind of similar thing. Anyway, moving on, she continues on to clarify what she said here. This is Fitzpatrick about the impact of central bank digital currency. She said, however, I think it will be temporary. I don't think they will be successful in permanently destabilizing Bitcoin. Very interesting. Soros recently invested in NYDIG and a little-known data provider called Luca. They've clearly made a decision to look at all developments related to crypto infrastructure, but they appear to be hesitant to invest in crypto itself. So these are the guys. These are the people, I should say, who, if they can, find a way to make it such that only they and their type are able to invest in crypto, they're going to try to do that. They're going to lobby, they're going to push, and obviously everybody knows the history of Soros and how he made millions and billions of dollars shorting the pound and crashing the currency there. Maybe we'll go into that sometime for those who don't know. But yeah, if they can do it, they're going to do it. So they also discuss here this issue of the impact that it could have on infrastructure and on the banking system. This Soros fund has clearly made a decision to look at all developments related to crypto infrastructure, but they appear to be hesitant in crypto itself. The reason is presumably because they seem to have taken a wait-and-see approach, especially in light of what they think as a potential challenge from fiat cryptos. That's oxymoronic right there. That's incorrect. There won't be fiat cryptos. Okay. I mean, okay, let's think this through. Maybe they'll use a permissioned private blockchain that uses some cryptography and a blockchain. But the thing is like the question though is why? Why would they even do that? Centralized tech, the tech stack of centralized systems can do everything they need with a digital currency. They don't necessarily need it to be blockchain. I mean, the whole genius behind blockchain and Bitcoin is the decentralized nature of it and the way you have these miners all around the world. That's not what the central bank digital currency is going to be. They're going to be digital currencies. They're probably not going to really truly be cryptos. They're certainly not going to adopt the ideologies that underlie all of the founders of all of the major cryptos. Not going to happen. Anyway, continuing on with this story here, it is stated, however, it is extremely unlikely any state will upend and potentially destroy their financial system by so fully taking control of fiat money to the point where commercial banks play no role any further. And that's something that I was talking about just yesterday, actually, speculating on. If I was a commercial bank, I'd be a little bit concerned about the central bank digital currency thing, because they are replacing many of the functions of commercial banks currently. But here she's speculating, Fitzpatrick, that it's unlikely that they'll do that they'll totally upend and destroy the financial system by doing that. Some have suggested commercial banks could limit the user withdrawal of fiat crypto, but then it isn't fiat crypto anymore. It's just a current fiat. Yeah, but that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be fiat. It's not going to be crypto. It's not going to be limited in supply. It's not going to be trustless. It's not going to be borderless. It's not going to be all these things. It's going to be just a digital version of what already exists. We know that. All right. Ethereum gas prices. Here's the chart. Oh, yeah. Did we look at that today? We did. Ethereum gas prices high. 259 Gwei for standard. We're looking at this chart for those of you who can't see it. The volume and the price rise of gas is just, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is a problem. I just wanted to, show it to you. I don't know why I have there. Cardano blockchain gets first liquidity aggregator in Orion protocol. We're going to use this to talk a little bit about Cardano, but also to talk about the coin highlight of the day. This will just be a launching point for us. IOHK, if you're not familiar, most of you probably are, the company headed by Charles Hoskinson that is behind the Cardano blockchain, is in the news today after it announced a partnership with Orion Protocol, with the latter becoming the first liquidity aggregator for the Cardano blockchain. The official announcement from Orion read, Orion Protocol partners with @Input Output HK to become the first liquidity aggregator to the Cardano blockchain. Meanwhile, the pair will work together to enable the scalability and sustainability of the DeFi and NFT spaces. So what is this Orion Protocol? It's actually quite impressive. So we're going to take a look at it just a little bit. Here is the website. If you want to check it out, it's orionprotocol.io, not .com, but .io. They state that the future of trading is here. We're building the first gateway to the entire crypto market. It will aggregate every central exchange, decentralized exchange, and swap pool into one decentralized platform. So this is an aggregate platform that's going to have, they have a Uniswap type of solution and they're offering a terminal, which is going to be sort of like a Bloomberg terminal for the crypto space. It's an interesting idea. Basically, you can go into this one terminal or exchange and you can make trades and you can do it with all of these centralized exchanges. So Binance and KuCoin and they'll connect to those, but then you can also do it with the decentralized exchanges. And then also they're just pulling in all of the DeFi stuff as well. So it's very, very interesting. And if we go into, let's see, where was it though? I'm not connected to the internet, so I can't do that right now. But the thing of it is on there, it's all decentralized here. Orion Protocol is. So you don't have to have an account. There's no KYC or anything like that currently. And on their swap, right now, it's working with the Ethereum chain and the Binance Smart Chain. So the announcement that's being made today is that it's also going to work on the Cardano chain. And they're also working on others as well, Avalanche and some of the others, right? So they're going to be completely blockchain agnostic. They're working toward interoperability where you're going to even be able to swap across chains potentially in the future. So it all looks very, very impressive, really, if they're able to pull it off and do it well. Currently, it's down 6.62%. That's actually up a bit. It was down 18% earlier this morning at $19.27. That is the Orion Protocol token. It is currently an Ethereum token. The ticker on it is ORN, and it's ranked 228 in terms of market cap. So keep an eye on that. Now, the max supply is 100 million ORN tokens. There's something interesting. The price has been dropping of late, and I'm not necessarily making a recommendation on this, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. But before we do that, there's a story about Orion Protocol and KuCoin that I want to bring to you because it illustrates some core principles that I've been trying to communicate over time, repeatedly, and it is this. Orion Protocol executed a token swap because there was a KuCoin exchange hack, okay? So following a 200 million hack on KuCoin exchange earlier today, Orion Protocol has reissued ORN tokens via token swap with automatic distribution of new tokens to all ORN holders. there's a couple. I'm going to read this a little bit through this a little bit more, and then comment on some things that are of interest and I think important. Earlier today, KuCoin announced a hack that amounted to $200 million of stolen assets. Wow. A number of assets held on KuCoin were affected, including 3.8 million ORN. While this unfortunate situation was beyond our control, further rectifying this incident for all ORN holders is of utmost importance to us. In order to prevent the hacker profiting from the exploit at the expense of the ORN community, and this is what gets interesting, we took the executive decision to reissue all ORN tokens one-to-one via a token swap. Okay, so this sounds really great. This sounds good. I mean, and it is. It's, technically good because somebody hacked it. They took all these tokens and they were like, all right, we're going to kill that smart contract and we're just going to create a new one, reissue all new ORN tokens, airdrop them essentially to everybody that was involved in the old, on the old smart contract, except for the hacker, and rectify this problem. Great. But what's the problem here with this? What's the issue with this? It points out and it illustrates one of the fundamental flaws. All of these tokens that are launched on the Ethereum blockchain, they're not like Bitcoin. They're not like ADA. They're not like Ethereum, where, because the whole thing can just be swept under the rug. And that's why you get these rug pull frauds occurring as well, because all of these tokens are created with smart contracts. And so there's a little bit of centralization there, isn't there? When the development team can just essentially terminate one smart contract and create another to replace it. So they can do all kinds of things here, whether it's whatever they want to do, really. And that's an issue. It's definitely an issue. It's just something to consider and to think about when you're investing in what are not coins, but tokens, Ethereum tokens. And this would be true of Binance Smart Chain as well. All right. So what happened here is a snapshot was taken on the block at a certain block number at a certain time. And ORN ERC20 tokens will now be reissued one-to-one via a new smart track, rendering the previous contract address and tokens obsolete. As a result, the stolen tokens will be worthless and have no impact on the secondary market. The ERC20 tokens will now be reissued and distributed to the holders of previous tokens. Please do not use the previous token addresses as funds will be lost. Trading and withdrawals of ORN and other assets was temporarily suspended on KuCoin and a number of other exchanges. Please note, central exchange users won't be affected as exchanges have already updated the smart contract address. All stake tokens and rewards will remain in place, and this will occur automatically. Once withdrawal is open, traders will be able to withdraw new tokens. Interesting stuff. So here's the issue with Orion. As is noted by Cointelegraph, FOMO or fundamentals. Here's why Orion Protocol ORN rallied by 730%. Orion Protocol has rallied 730% since February to hit a 500 million market cap, but what's really behind the recent gains? And I'm just going to summarize this rather than read it to you. Basically what is stated here is that what Orion is trying to do is really great. And the issue is there's a bunch of people that are trying to do it and a bunch of people that have tried to do it to create this aggregate type of Bloomberg-like crypto trading terminal that pulls in all of the centralized and all the decentralized and brings it all into one space. Now, if they do emerge as a leader in that space, then this Orion token could be a really great investment. However, that remains to be seen. And it is a very competitive sector. And they are doing some things that I think are good, are right. We've looked at a couple of the tokens similar or projects, but they're being chain agnostic, which is great. And they're bringing in aggregate. So the big question here is just use and adoption. Do they have the marketing capability? Which I haven't been able to really look into really deeply yet. But the products do look good. Just looking over the site currently and not having used it as of yet, but looking at what is there, I like the direction. The fact that they are partnering with Cardano is a big plus in my mind as well, and that they're going to be the first liquidity provider for the Cardano blockchain. And that's going to give them at least a little bit, that's going to give them a lot more exposure, actually, as it, just because it's going to be in the news, as it is already today. So I'm not really making any call here on whether this is a good project to get involved in or not. This is, and as always, everything I do is not financial advice. It's not investment advice. It's just to educate and to make you aware of what is happening, what's out there, what's available, what's going on, right? So I just got to throw that little caveat out there. Okay, friends, let's see. Do we have any other stories today we want to cover? There, just a couple things quickly. Grayscale continues to buy. They've purchased $2,532,000 worth more of XLM, Mana, Filecoin, Basic Attention Token, and Link. So as they continue to expand into the altcoins with their trusts, they are buying. As of April 1st, the company holds a total of $46 billion worth of crypto. That's pretty significant, isn't it? 46 billion is equal to the entire Cardano market capitalization, close to the Binance coin market capitalization, 25% almost of Ethereum. That's just that is massive. But as we've noted before, a good sign for mass adoption. All right, here's the last thing we're going to talk about today. Our friend Mark Cuban in the news once again. He blows the lid off of the crypto holdings apparently and reveals he's a whale and an early Ethereum investor. Okay, now I understand why he's been so positive about Ethereum, right? And I wouldn't be surprised the same with Bitcoin. But anyhow, it states here, Dallas Mavericks owner and billionaire investor Mark Cuban is revealing some of the large cap crypto assets in his portfolio. And in a new interview with Real Vision, Cuban says he has owned Ethereum ETH for at least half a decade. He basically said that he purchased Ethereum when it first came out. And you know, this is kind of like, I read that and I was like, what? Because this guy, he was talking FUD about crypto for the longest time. And, you know, I haven't been able to line things up, but I'm pretty dang sure that he was doing it while buying it or before, I should say. And this just, you know, anyway, you can conclude what you want with that. But you've got to wonder how many of these, whether it be the institutional guys, the Jamie Dimons and, you know, on, who just slam crypto or actually buying in the process. And because of their ability to wield influence, because of their notoriety, you know, they could, you know, attempt to drive the price down. I'm not going to accuse anybody of doing that, but boy, sometimes it sure looks like that could be what was going on. He states, I had a bunch of Ethereum from when it first came out or about a year after it came out. And then I bought some more a few months ago. I forgot how many, 6-7 months ago, whatever. The billionaire investor and Shark Tank star says he will increase his Ethereum stake if the price pulls back dramatically. If Ethereum goes back under 1,000, then I'll buy more. Cuban says he also owns Litecoin, along with the decentralized finance DeFi protocols Aave and SushiSwap. He also owns the native token of digital collectibles marketplace Rarible and selling artwork on the platform. So, you know what happens is, and I just want to say right in this moment, what happens is a lot of times you see people pumping through speech, talking about the projects that they actually hold and that they actually are in and invest. And I am committed, for one, not to do that here on this channel. I will never use this channel or any of my podcasts or videos or anything like that to either try to pump or dump on prices of any particular crypto asset. Just not what I'm about. Not going to happen. I don't go and buy a coin and then introduce it as a highlight of the day in order to try to pump it, to dump it. We'll never do that. No matter how big this channel ever becomes, we'll never do it. That's just my commitment to you guys. This is about providing truthful analysis, information, education, covering the news, and all of that. This is not, you know, for self gain at all in any way. That's just my commitment to you guys. All right, I'm just going to talk about one last thing because of a conversation that I had with one of the thrashers in you know, on instant message the other day or earlier today. And it's this. It's just sort of big picture thinking in regard to trying to invest in crypto. What I want to talk about is the difference between an investor and a trader, and how here's a simple fact of the matter. If you try to be a trader, you try to be a day trader, which is what I see all over the place. You get into some of the really big crypto groups on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, social media, and you see all these people. What's the next coin to pump? What's the next coin to pump? I want to jump in. I want to get on it. And so they're chasing after these, little known, obscure cryptos or pump and dump schemes because they want to make a fast buck. And you know what happens with that? So I've been around long enough. I know that I'm not smart enough. You might, what happens is during a bull cycle like this, people do fairly well with that. And so they think they're genius. Oh, I'm a freaking genius. I haven't lost anything on any trade or whatever. And then when the market starts to turn the other direction, then they just completely, totally, absolutely devastated and wrecked. And this is because they're not in the projects that have solid teams, solid technology, solid use cases, et cetera, et cetera. Now, here's what I'm going to say about it. There is a place for that potentially, in my view, in terms of a wise investment strategy. But for that is, when I say for that, what I'm talking about is speculation, but it should be done with a very, very, very small amount. And really, that's all that's needed anyway. So here's what I always recommend to my listeners and to the people that seek my advice on this issue is, look at it this way. Number one, don't have all of your investments into crypto, because it is a speculative space. There is some uncertainty at times about what could happen, and it's young and it's new. So in order to beat this inflationary cycle that's coming, as was pointed out earlier by Fitzpatrick with the 25% increase to the money supply, right? In order to beat that, you want to get into hard assets. So whether that be real estate, or whether it be property, or whether it be even just deflationary items that go up in price when inflation goes up, guns, ammo, things that are hard to manufacture, hard to so what else would there be? Oh, precious metals, gold, silver, these types of things. So you want to diversify overall. You don't want just totally be in crypto. I mean, the only way you would end up totally being in crypto is if you were a developer in the space and you end up with a bunch of crypto, and but even then, so that's number one. Number two is put something like 40% into the most proven cryptos, in the top 10. I mean, we're talking Bitcoin, maybe 40% into Bitcoin, and then another 40% maybe distributed out across the projects that you really believe in the top 10. So whether it be Cardano, if you're an Ethereum believer, in Ethereum, right? Or any of the other top 10, Polkadot, Uniswap, Litecoin. Then take the other 20% or even less, maybe 10% or whatever, and be speculative with that. Chase coins with that, where you become aware of, maybe in one of the coin highlights or from some other YouTube channel or something, or in a forum somebody posts, hey, check out this coin. It's just launching. Nobody's heard of it. It's not even on CoinMarketCap yet, or whatever. And throw small percentages into those. And sometimes you can, because what'll happen is if you do that maybe 20 or 30 times a year, you might have some huge winners and you might have some total losers. But if you're throwing small percentages at these and they end up being a huge loser, it's not that bad of a loss. But if it ends up being a huge and massive gain, great. So anyway, so you can, so that's the difference between, speculative. Well, I mean, everything is somewhat speculative, but just trying to be a speculative trader, trying to guess price, it's just a great way to get wrecked. And to do that with large amounts, percentages of your total portfolio is basically crazy, right? So So you can have a bit of fun and do some speculation and maybe win sometimes really big, especially in a bull market like this, while also being more of a fundamental analysis type of investor that's looking for value, looking for projects that are solid, fundamentally solid. And even in those cases, sometimes the most fundamentally solid projects, they just don't succeed because they don't have the marketing behind it, or, can't build the network effect, and they disappear off the horizon. So that's another aspect to look at. What's the community like? How much marketing do they have? What kind of fund do they have to attract developers and users to the platform? Okay, well, I think that's enough for today. Hope you guys have an incredible Friday and just an amazing weekend. Thank God it's Friday. Yeah, here we are. All right. Love you all. Appreciate you. Look forward to talking with you on Monday. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to release, I've got a couple interview podcasts that I have sitting in the queue that I haven't released yet. I think I'll do that over this weekend, Saturday and Sunday maybe. And I'll see you again on, did I say Saturday and Sunday? I don't know what I just said, but Saturday and Sunday, release those interview podcasts, and then I'll be back with you on Monday for the daily crypto update on Monday. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye now.